Good morning. Today is it's Monday. It's a Monday, and do you know why I know it's Monday? Although I didn't really know it was Monday just then. Today is my first day doing uni. Like, it's my first official day doing uni, and I'm very nervous, even though I'm about to do it in my living room, because I think I've lost the brain science. Also, I've woken up with a really bad headache. I've also woken up to my bank saying, hey, you're in an overdraft that you don't have. Maybe put some money into your account. And that means I've got to get dressed and go out and put money in my account. Luckily, because I'm at my dad's, I am with Santander, which actually means I can go to the post office to put money in. Because if it was any other way, I'd be screwed. There's no bank where my dad lives. That still doesn't mean I can be bothered getting up and getting dressed. But I need to do that before the bank I need to do it before 4 PM so I don't get charged. It's now 2 o'clock and I haven't done any uni except find the book. I've been panicking a little bit about money today. Probably because I got off holiday and spent far too much money than I could afford on a credit card. Don't get credit cards, just don't. So I've been working on the website today, like uploading some new stock that I got, and I'm really happy with how the first one looked. It took a little bit while to get it sorted because the pictures were a bit funny, but to be fair, I should be less lazy and edit the pictures anyway, so the stock looks as good as possible. But yeah, so I've been doing that, and I feel good getting back into the website as well, because that does need work, like a lot of work. The potential of earning money sounds good, pretty good. I'm also waiting for Patreon payments to come through, and when that comes through, you know, that'll help pay the bills. I've already paid my rent, so that's good. So yeah, you know, I'm trying to mix business with education. That's good. I've applied for a press pass this morning for a local con in Liverpool, and I think that's it. But now I've got to get work. I've got to start doing my other work to help my future. The uni work, that one. I don't want to. I think I'm really anxious about it. So this is what I have. So it says week 2, because week 1 was just an induction. I had to fill some paperwork in. So it'll tell me that I've got to do chapter 1 of Cleopatra. There's the DVD, do book 1 DVD videos, dummy assignment, and my survival plan. And what I do is I tick all these off as I've done them, and that's my week. And obviously, as you do them, they seem to get obviously a little bit more intense. This is my book. So this week I should do chapter 1, and chapter 1 is Cleopatra. So this week we'll be focusing all this. We'll be doing all this. Oh, a little bit more. And that will come with that. Then I also have my study companion to help me, and I've got my assignment booklet, and I'm still a little bit overwhelmed, I'm not gonna lie, on how to do everything. I have read Faustus though. I've read and studied Faustus, so I'm prepared for next week. So let's get started. Hey? Oi. So it might not look it right now, but today has been a pretty weirdly day. And the reason why I say weirdly is because nothing that bad really happened. But it was the day I finally admitted to myself that my depression is coming back. I've just been talking it out with someone, and I was just saying, like, I know it's coming back. I can feel it, but I also feel like me, if that makes sense. And they went, it makes perfect sense. They said it's like a cape being put over your shoulders, you know, something you can feel. It is something that's weighing you down, but you know, like the hood isn't up yet or something. And they asked me an amazing question. They said, is it environmental or is it chemical? And I was like, that's a really good question. And I was like, honestly, right now, I think it's both. I was like, I feel technically homeless. I'm constantly living out of a suitcase. I have no stability. I have no... Now, this is something that probably everyone has to deal with, but like, I do feel technically homeless. Maybe that's not something everyone has to deal with. There's nowhere I'm really happy with at the moment. Like, I love coming back to my dad's, but obviously there's a lot of issues, you know, living with my parents, and there's a lot of issues living in this house that I'm not going to go into detail with, and there's a lot of issues with the flat. My biggest problem with the flat is not necessarily the mess, because I can fix that. It's the noise, and I can't do anything about the noise. I can't do anything about Oscars all of a sudden being so loud, it makes my room vibrate, or my neighbours having parties, or the other venues around my flat, which are just like being just unbelievably so loud, and it's slowly killing me. And that one isn't probably necessarily my depression, that's annoyingly my misophonia, which honestly, I'd rather have depression than misophonia, because I can't even go to the cinema without getting stressed out, you know. And it's getting to the point now when there's noise in Liverpool that I can hear in my flat. Not necessarily noise, but when there's like bass, like really loud music, and it's traveling through my room, my whole body kind of shuts down now, and I just go to have a breakdown. I just go to cry because I just feel like I can't escape, and that room is meant to be my little safe space, and it just really annoys me. And then so I'm here all the time, and then I'm like, why am I paying rent that I can't afford if I'm never there? And it's just I feel so lost at the moment, and like financially I'm crippled. I thought by now I'd have everything set up and I'd be living off everything I said I'd be living off, and I'm not. I haven't got anything set up. I'm struggling. I realised one of the things that triggers my anxiety more than anything is selling online, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but I know that if I have a message in my Etsy folder or something like that, I just die and I can't even look at it. Like sometimes I actually have to get Andrew to just look in my inbox and then tell me what the messages are. Like I'm finding out, but I need that buffer between me and the internet, and I know even in that moment how stupid that is, but I need it. And I'm like, how can I run a business online if I can't, if it's constantly causing me stress? I'm also not taking my vitamins at the moment, and I'm only taking my propranolol when it's needed. And maybe I feel like my anxiety doesn't really affect my depression, like, because even when I'm happy I have anxiety. Like that's just, I think that's something I have to accept, that's always going to be there, and I have to learn to deal with it better. But my depression comes and goes, which is another reason why I think I might be bipolar, not actually just depressed. And I don't mean, oh, just because it comes and goes. Like, I read a comic called Marbles once, and it was about a woman who's suffering with bipolar. Everything she went through ticked every box for me, and I got Andrew to read it, and he was like, no, I can't relate to that. And I was like, oh, am I bipolar? And I was like, because I had the misconception that you just, you know, you have erratic mood swings, which I can do, but I thought that was kind of it. Like one day you'd be sad, the next minute you'd be happy. I didn't realize what it actually meant is you can be depressed for months, or you can be hyper for months, and then you can, and she did a lot of what I did. I have so much energy, like I start so many projects and I don't finish a lot of those projects because I can't stop. I can never stop. And then she wouldn't sleep because her mind wouldn't stop, and then she'd think all these projects would keep her going through her depression, but then her depression would hit and she'd stop everything. And I'm using this vlog right now for a very medicinal purpose, and it's just to rant to someone because I'm alone, and that's fine. Like, I can't even remember what I was saying. What was I talking about? Oh, my medication. Was it? Yeah. Like, yeah, so I don't think not taking my beta blockers is affecting my depression. I think it might be affecting my mood swings, or maybe my mood swings are attached to my depression. Basically, I've been having a lot of mood swings. I've been snapping at people. I've got really shouty at people. Like, I have lost it. Like, trigger warning. I made a video about a year and a half ago saying, like, I had a breakdown. Like, so much shit happened in my life. I just actually broke down and cried in my shower, and I put up a post on Patreon asking for help because I wanted help and I didn't know how to ask for help, and I didn't know where to go for help. But I knew if I didn't get help, I wasn't gonna be alive the next day. And that was the last time I felt like that. Not just suicidal, but there is a genuine terrifying part of me that I feel I cannot control. And when I have these mood swings, I genuinely can be screaming in my head saying, don't say that, be nice, be calm, do this thing, do the right thing, and then I'll just react so badly outside. I will shout, I will swear, I will hit doors, I will hurt myself sometimes, and I am in my head going, you are doing the wrong thing. You know, it's like I am not in control of my body. I cannot even explain it. I am not in control of my body, and I am getting better with that. Like, there's been times lately where I've gone to have this tantrum, this horrible fit of mine, and I've gone to hit something and I've stopped and I've hit the bed because I know I can hit the bed and I won't hurt it. I still had to lash out, but instead of hitting my poor door or some poor inanimate object, never a person ever, but I've gone to hit the bed instead because I know if I break that thing, which I've done so much in the past, I would regret it. I haven't self-harmed. I did feel the urge to at one point, but I didn't. So I am, a part of me does feel like I am getting better, or am I just not as bad as I was, like, mentally? And is that to come? Like, that's the scary thing. Sometimes, like, I think I'm very in tune with who I am mentally and physically, but it is hard to gauge. It is hard to, annoyingly, I was actually thinking the other day, because someone was asking in the Open University forum, like, what do we all suffer from? And I was like, oh, I used to suffer from depression. And I was like, I think I'm kind of over that. I think I've kind of got past it, because I haven't felt like this for a year and a half. And then, almost with this ferocious tidal wave, it has come in looming over me. And it's like I just been on this happy sunny beach, and then I see this big horrible shadow coming up from behind me, and I turn around and it's this horrible, terrifying, consuming wave and I can see that it's about to get me, and I cannot do anything about it, but I also know that I can. And I think that's why, you know, I'm trying to make this video for a couple of reasons. One, I need to talk, and I know I'm rambling. I know this doesn't make sense, but I needed to talk out loud. But I wanted to film it as well because I do feel weirdly less insane, because trust me, I'd be saying this out loud whether the camera was on or not. on or not. So I'm like, I feel less crazy if I'm talking to the camera. But also as well, like, I wanted you guys to see that maybe I haven't been filming much lately, haven't been uploading as much lately, is because I have been struggling with stuff, I really have. But I also want you to see the progression of my efforts, like the amount of breakdown crying videos that are on YouTube, and I'm so sick of them being on YouTube, but that they're real and that happened. But I'm not saying they'll never happen again, but I also am owning how I feel. I'm owning that I cannot let my depression be an excuse for my behavior, and I need to get a hold of this while I still can. And maybe if I put this on YouTube, it's showing the proactivity, the proactive nature that you maybe need to have, whether it exhausts you or you don't want to do it with depression. And you do have to be in tune with yourself, and you also have to know what you need as well. Like today I had people around, and it just kind of hit me in one bag. Like, someone said something and I got really upset, and I started getting really upset with them, and then we talked it out and I calmed down. But then I was like, okay, I'm not angry, but I need to be alone now. And I was like, I promise it's not because I'm on my own, I'm not in a mood, but I do need alone time now. I need to just be by myself, and then that might mean I just need to sit here and cry, but that's genuine self-care right now. I need to release that tension or release that sadness, or I might need to have a glass of wine. But alcohol isn't the fix, but what I meant was, like, have a glass of wine, watch a rom-com, watch something that makes me happy no matter how trashy it is. I wanted to go back to Liverpool today, but I just didn't have the energy to even sit on a train. I don't know. I got this book the other day. Andrew, for Christmas, got me a Waterstones gift book voucher. Like, if you ever need to get me a present and you don't know what to get me a Waterstones gift card. I will never not run out of things to buy. And I got this, the anxiety journal, and you know what, I was actually looking for another self-help book on decluttering and tidying up, because that's another thing that I think honestly helps my mental health at the moment. And this was next to all of them, and there was a page in it that I just happened to open. It was like in a film, and I just opened it, and I was like, oh my god, that's me. Because when I first was flicking through the pages, I was like, oh, this doesn't look very good. I can't even find it now. But basically, it was describing anxiety as black and white. And you can have these identifying your thinking errors. Black and white thinking. You're with me or against me. Take it or leave it. And honestly, I find it quite funny that that's number one, because I don't feel like I get past that. I feel like that is a horrible trait of my stubbornness, my independence, and my anxiety. And the amount of times, especially in relationships, I'm like, you gotta let me be who I am, or fuck off. And it is a horrible trait. It is. I don't compromise. I'm not willing to change, sometimes for the better. And you know, it's cost a lot of relationships for that. And I actually never thought that had anything to do with my anxiety. I just thought I was a stubborn bitch. Which, to be honest, is probably part of it. But I was like, oh, but that makes sense to me, because one of the things that when I feel threatened in a relationship, that's going to make me anxious. That's going to make me go into the fight or flight mode. And for me, it's very black and white. And I am like, you know, I don't know if I do the overgeneralization where I'm just my luck, everything goes wrong, something always goes wrong. I don't really do that. I think I actually take bad news very well, like a little too scarily well. Like when my shop closed, I was like, okay, we're closed now. And I took that really, really calm. And then I had a very subtle breakdown for a month. But I never had this catastrophic moment of, oh, for fuck's sake. But then if I like went out and forgot my headphones, then I'd have a meltdown. Like, yeah. Mental filtering. I told you so. I knew it would happen. But I don't think that's anxiety. I think everyone loves that. Disqualifying the positive. Yes, but. Do love my butts. I feel like I should have read all of this, because I don't think the other ones really apply to me. But maybe I'll do it properly. I'll read through it properly. That is like later on in the book, in all fairness. God, did I waste a tenner? No, my whole point of showing you that book is just showing that I have been struggling. I was in denial, and then it got worse, and I couldn't pretend it wasn't there anymore. But I'm okay. Like, I'm not, like, I've had a couple of little cries, but they're good cries, not like, oh God, the world hates me kind of cry. And yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay enough to know I'm not okay. And I know it's okay to not be okay. And I've just been talking to some friends right now. I feel very supported. More supported than I sometimes give credit to, actually. I do often feel very alone in this world. And I don't believe people actually like me. I've become very cynical of humanity in my older years. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this is. I'm very lonely. I just need to talk to people. But yeah, I just wanted you to know that I'm okay. And I'm gonna work on it.